I didn't go looking for proof. I wasn't tracking her phone or checking receipts or playing detective. That night, I just happened to walk past the bar on Ridgemont Street because my car was in the shop and I'd decided to clear my head with a long walk. It was raining lightly, the kind of rain that doesn't soak you but makes everything feel heavier. I was thinking about work, about deadlines, about whether I remembered to pay the electric bill. Normal things. Married things. Then I saw her through the window. Her name is Eliza. We've been married 11 years. I'm Marcus, 42, project manager, predictable, steady. The kind of man who believes consistency is a form of love. Inside that bar, the lights were low and warm, and she was laughing in a way I hadn't heard in years. Not a polite smile, not a tired chuckle, but a full, unguarded laugh. She was leaning forward, elbow on the bar, hair tucked behind her ear the way she does when she's interested. And sitting beside her was a man I'd never seen before. At first, my brain tried to save me. Maybe it was a coworker, maybe a cousin, maybe I was misreading it. I stood there longer than I should have, rain tapping against my jacket, watching the way his hand rested on the small of her back, watching the way she didn't move it away. That's when my chest went tight, not sharp pain, just pressure, like something heavy settling where my lungs should be. I walked in, not storming, not angry, just walking, like someone entering a room they belong in. The smell of beer and citrus cleaner hit me. The man looked up first, eyes curious, not guilty. Eliza turned a second later. Her face changed instantly. Color drained. Her mouth opened, then closed. She said my name, soft, like it was a question she already knew the answer to. I didn't ask who he was. I didn't demand explanations. I just looked at her, really looked, and realized how far away she already was. She stood up halfway, then sat back down, unsure what role she was supposed to play. The man slid his hand away, suddenly respectful, suddenly aware. He muttered something about the restroom and disappeared, leaving us alone in the noise. "You weren't supposed to see this," she said. "Not I'm sorry. Now let me explain. Just that." I nodded. That was the moment something inside me went quiet. No shouting, no pleading. I reached for my left hand and twisted my wedding ring slowly, feeling the faint groove it had worn into my skin over a decade. I remembered putting it on, promising forever in a small ceremony by the coast. Remembered believing it meant something permanent. I slid it off and held it between my fingers for a second. It felt lighter than it should have. Eliza watched me, eyes wide now. "Marcus, don't," she whispered, like I was about to make a scene. I didn't say a word. I took her hand, palm up, the same hand I'd held through hospital visits and funerals and long, quiet Sundays. I placed the ring in the center of her palm and closed her fingers around it. Her hand trembled. Mine didn't. Then I walked out. The rain felt colder when I stepped back onto the street. I stood there for a moment, breathing, letting the noise fade behind me. I didn't feel rage. I felt clarity, a clean, sharp understanding that something was over and that dragging it out wouldn't resurrect it. I walked the rest of the way home, shoes soaked, jacket damp, mind strangely calm. Our house was dark. I turned on one lamp, the one in the living room, and sat down. I didn't pack. I didn't destroy anything. I just sat there, listening to the hum of the refrigerator, realizing how many nights I'd already felt alone in that space. How many conversations had ended in silence. How often I'd convinced myself that distance was normal. She came home an hour later. I heard the door, her hesitant footsteps. She stood in the doorway, clutching the ring in her fist like it might burn her. She tried to speak. I held up a hand, not angrily, just enough to stop the noise. "I know," I said. 2 words. "Enough." She cried then. Apologies spilled out, mixed with explanations, loneliness, confusion. I listened without interrupting. When she finished, I told her I was going to stay with my brother for a while. I told her we'd talk through lawyers. I told her I wished her well. All true, all final. That night, on my brother's couch, staring at a ceiling fan spinning slowly, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Relief. Not happiness. Relief. Like setting down a weight you didn't realize you were carrying until your hands were empty. People think leaving is dramatic. They imagine shouting, slammed doors, broken glasses. Sometimes it's quieter than that. Sometimes it's just a man in the rain, watching the truth reveal itself through a bar window, slipping off a ring, walking away with his dignity intact.